Hello, Professor. My name is Ashley Osa, and today I'm going to be talking about privacy in the workplace. So, technology is advancing every day, and employers have to implement regulations to their employees like monitoring their computer use, who they talk to, and who they email. This is all personal information. This presentation will let you know why do employers need this information, um, do do the employers have the right to do this, and how employees are being monitored in different countries, and if monitoring is ethical or unethical. So, what is privacy? The state of a condition of being free from being observed or disturbed by other people. So, there is no privacy in the workplace because they're not free and they're being observed by other people. So, employees don't have privacy. There is something called the Federal Electronic Communication Privacy, in short ECPA. This is a this is an act that gives an okay to monitor people in the workplace. Back in 1986, this law was passed so they can prevent wiretapping and from people getting intel about a company. It also says that they would only monitor what is done in the workplace, and no personal information would be monitored or be revealed to the public. This act let companies monitor employees, but there's no limit. There is no limit, meaning they can do as much as going on your social media or reading your text messages on your phone, because when you use the the company's Wi-Fi on your personal phone, they can see everything that's on your phone. So there should be specific limits, like don't monitor personal data like an employee's personal phone or GPS track their location. Companies can go as far as watching every post you post online or social media. They can install a key logging software that software it keeps track of the keys struck of all the keys struck on your keyboard. So first I want to discuss this picture. So this is how it feels not to have privacy, even though it doesn't. This is not how it looks like, because there's softwares installed in the computer and there's cameras around, and but that's what it should look like. It's someone in the back, in the front of a man with a microphone and headphones, hearing everything he's saying, who's he talking to, and then in the back of him, it's someone taking a picture of his screen, everything he's doing. So they're monitoring his computer, and that's not right. So I'm I'm going to be talking about country differences, how they work with privacy with Europe, Finland, Netherlands, and Germany. So there are different countries in the world, and they all do different things like food, culture, language, and also privacy in the workplace. A country that's very different from the United States, it's Europe, because they have a legislation called GDPR, which stands for General Data Protection Regulation. It helps people be more aware of how their information is used online. In Europe, Finland, Netherlands, and Germany are very similar because they don't monitor much of their employees. In Europe, they think it's easier for the employer to block the website than to monitor the employee. If, if employers block the websites that distract employees, then there will be no need to monitor what they're then there's no need to monitor them, their computers. I think this is a really great idea because it's easier and you don't have to waste much money on the software that you installed that takes 30 like every 30 seconds they take a picture of your screen. Europe only uses gadgets like fingerprinting, voice retinas when it's emergency or special occasions because they want to keep an employee's personal information to a minimum. Unlike in the United States, they use many things. Now, recently this year, they started microchipping a bunch of people. They were volunteers, but still, I think that's pretty crazy that they're microchipping, and it was to know like where you are if you get lost. They said if you get lost, just in case you get lost, or if you could get in a car accident and they need to know your medical information. I think that's a little crazy. Okay, so in Finland, the only way that the employer can have personal data from someone, it would be for work purposes only, which means that not many things are being monitored, and when it is, it has to have a purpose. Next slide. So this slide is about my ethical analysis on privacy in the workplace. So first, I'm going to read the what ethics mean. So, ethic is a code of moral standards of conduct for what is good and right, as opposed to what is bad or wrong. I also put here what is ethics, what is fair, and what is just. So, is it right to monitor employees? Is that ethical? I think that's a trick question because yes, companies they do need to be aware of what their employees are doing, but also shouldn't invade their privacy, like reading emails, text, or checking call logs. In a video I saw with Sarah Course, she said, quote unquote, she has two phones because there are boundaries with work life and personal life. I don't feel like someone should have two phones and pay two phone bills because the company is that you're working for is nosy and wants to know everything about you. They want to know all your personal data, everything you do outside of work. I don't think that's fair because you work and you have your other life. You have your work life and you have your I don't think you need to have two phones. They should not be able to monitor you. So I think monitoring is both ethical and unethical. The morally correct thing to do would be to let the employees know when they're being monitored, because if they don't, they lose trust. If someone's being dishonest, then why should someone trust them? Also, I agree with everything that Europe does. They don't monitor to an extent. They don't, and if they do, they let them know. They try to keep it to a minimum, which I think the United States should do more. Okay, I'm going to talk about my social analysis. So, I'm going to read this quote by Joseph Little. It says 35% of employees even think it's acceptable for their employers to analyze transcripts of their phone conversations at work. 28% have mixed feelings, and 37% think it's unacceptable. 37% is the majority, think it's unacceptable. 37% is a lot. And in all the other statistics, most people say that monitoring is unacceptable. As technology advances, it's going to be normal that companies monitor people. It's going to be like Big Brother is watching, because people are aware that they're being monitored, being heard, and watched, but they aren't doing anything about it because it's become the new normal. Being watched shouldn't be the new normal. People have rights, and that includes privacy. I'm going to read this other quote by Ozier and Rainey. About 8 in 10 Americans say the potential risks outweigh the benefits when it comes to companies collecting data. So Americans are scared. They have fear in their eyes because what are these companies doing with their personal information? Where are they sending to it? Are you giving to the government? What are they doing with it, and why do they need it? So a lot of statistics say that most Americans don't agree with this. They think it's unacceptable. So this concludes my presentation. Here are my references. Thank you so much.